Well, hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. As always, excited to be with you and share the news with you. And I found a video that is absolutely wild. Okay. It's Eric Swalwell, and he posted it. I'm so sorry. Wild. There we go. Got that turned off in the background, but it's Eric Swalwell. He actually put this up on his TikTok account. So I find this really crazy that somebody would actually make a video like this and then post it. But the nomination and confirmation of Kash Patel has him scared to the next level. There's no other way to put it as we get into this video. But do me a favor, smash that like if you would, chat in with where you're from. Quick word from my sponsor, and then we'll get right into it.
Excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale.
And actually, folks, just go to the mypillow.com/lumberjack. You could use the promo code, but it's 30% off the necklaces for my lovely audience. Now, I want to get into this news. I've got another great piece to the cat ladies are striking back. I know you're going to be scared, but I first want to get into this Eric Swalwell and a quick cautionary word here before I start playing this video. He does cuss in it. So I know sometimes families watch my stuff. So and Eric Swalwell is unhinged in this video. He is literally unhinged. So here we go.
Fucking unbelievable. I mean, the most serious agency in our government. Kash Patel.
I mean, guys, look at even his face right there as I just pause it. I mean, wow, he's scared.
FBI director. I mean, if there is not an "are you fucking kidding me" moment, it's this. And for anyone who was fooled into thinking, don't worry, there's reasonable Republicans in the Senate, bullshit. There are no reasonable Republicans in the Senate. We cannot count on them. They will not save us. We are on our own in this.
They will not save us, folks. They will not save us. Who's the us in this? I'm really curious. Who is the us Eric Swalwell is talking about? Is he talking about him, Schiff, Pelosi? Now, did Schiff and Pelosi get preempted apart? Swalwell got left out of that. Maybe he's really concerned here. I mean, he did have the Fang deal.
Because who was blocked? No one was blocked. You have a Secretary of Defense with absolutely zero experience laying off veterans.
He doesn't have zero experience. He served in the military. Interestingly enough, one was blocked. Matt Gaetz withdrew early because he felt there was too much. Matt Gaetz said Pam Bondi was an upgrade, so we shall see.
At the Pentagon, you have an anti-vaxxer overseeing Health and Human Services.
Oh, no.
We have a measles outbreak and the bird flu running rampant, and they're laying off people.
We have a measles outbreak and the bird flu is running rampant. Good night. Get the death tracker out on CNN.
Who fight cancer, make vaccines, and inspect bird flu. We can't count on any of them. Any of them. So here's what we have to do. In the short term, keep going to the courts and keep supporting individuals and organizations who are fighting in the courts. I want to flag for you Democracy Forward and Democracy Docket is two amazing organizations. Democracy Docket, you probably know through Mark Elias.
Yes, we know about Democracy Docket and Mark Elias, and Donald Trump has a big announcement on that. I'll try and get that video into the show for you here too.
They are in the courts. They're going after every unconstitutional executive order. They're fighting.
Okay, these people don't know the first thing about the Constitution. I wish they would just stop talking about it. They always talk about the Constitution. They don't care about the Constitution. We noticed that from the last years when they tried to silence and censor everybody, take away First Amendment rights, take away Fifth Amendment rights, take away Second Amendment rights. They have no care for the Constitution.
They're stalling. It's a speed bump to stop this damage. It's not the long-term solution. I don't need to teach you civics to tell you that once these things are appealed and they make their way to the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court, it goes to a Supreme Court that said that Donald Trump has absolute immunity. So that's a bit of a problem. But in the near term, right now, those organizations are doing such important work. In the Congress, we have Judicial Task Force. Jamie Raskin is leading one. Joe Neguse is leading one.
Jamie freaking Raskin, okay? This is like the hope for mankind. The hope for Eric Swalwell right here is Jamie Raskin. Do me a favor, smash that like, chat in with where you're from.
And I'm a part of them. I'm helping them out. They are also supporting these efforts to go to the courts. And the courts are putting pauses and freezes. And sometimes they're unpaused and they're unfrozen. But we have to stop every illegal act wherever we find it. Okay, the courts. Someone just said, what if he ignores the courts? What if he creates what is quote unquote a constitutional crisis, which doesn't mean anything anymore because we're just living through a fucking constitutional crisis. So we can't say.
See, he is losing it, man. He is losing it. The constitutional crisis happened the last 4 years. Someone might want to tell him about this.
This is a constitutional crisis. Donald Trump is a living, breathing constitutional crisis. So we can't use that phrase anymore because it's just Donald Trump is president. Therefore, there's a constitutional crisis. What if he defies the courts? Many of you are asking. So here's what we have to do. Because you don't have the marshals of the Supreme Court are not going to say, Mr. Trump, you have to follow the law here or we're going to do something about it. They're not going to do that. They can't do that. But in a federalism structure where you have states' rights and federal rights.
Okay, so now watch this. He's going to go into this, but I think I need to show you guys something. Kash Patel made an announcement today at his swearing in. I'm going to share this with you here quick. So let's watch this.
I promise you the following. There will be accountability within the FBI and outside of the FBI, and we will do it through rigorous constitutional oversight starting this weekend.
Yeah. Folks, man, they are worried. Accountability inside and outside the FBI.
Our attorneys general better be ready, and they better get pretty inventive and creative with what their powers allow them to do with a lawless president if he's not going to follow the law in the courts. They better be thinking about that every single day. And we have attorneys general.
And they've already done that. And they actually got defeated by Chutkin the other day. Remember that? An Obama-appointed Judge Chutkin, who actually oversaw the documents case for President Trump and did such a terrible job. Not the documents case. Which one was Chutkin? Documents was down in Florida. That was Eileen Cannon. Chutkin, which one was she? Can't remember right now, but she's certainly no friend of Trump's.
In New York, California, Illinois, Colorado, all over the country. We need more. But they are not helpless because they are chief law enforcement officers in some of the largest states in America. And so they better get ready for what they are going to do with the powers that they have. So, courts, keep fighting him in the courts. Yes, he may defy some of these orders. He may shut down the government and then just dissolve Congress and say, I don't even need Congress. If my own Republicans can't pass a budget, I'm just going to be the government. He will be lawless because that is who he is.
This is so wild coming from Eric Swalwell, is it not? By the way, folks, I don't know if you know this, but I actually met Eric Swalwell while I was out in D.C. last time. Took a picture with him. He didn't know who I was. I was trying to troll him, but then George, my friend George, actually took a much better trolling picture and posted it. So anyways, but it's wild that he's talking about this stuff, and he's talking about he's just going to dissolve Congress. I mean, come on. This is so ridiculous.
That's how he wired. That's how he's wired. That's in his DNA. In the House, in just 2 to 3 weeks, the government will run out of money. 2 to 3 weeks, the government will run out of money. Why is that the case? Because these geniuses in the majority, every couple weeks, every couple months, cannot pass a budget longer than a couple weeks or a couple months. And so back in December, they kicked the can down the road to March 14. That's the deadline.
Actually, that won't happen because, see, the hang up before was we had this Democrat Senate that couldn't pass anything that got out of the Republican Congress. So, Eric, actually, that's not what's going to happen. And he knows that.
The press will ask Democrats, they'll ask my colleagues, they'll ask you as influencers and activists, are the Democrats prepared to shut down the government? Bullshit. The government is shut down right now. It's shut down right now. When 70,000 federal employees are laid off, it's shut down.
Which, out of the workforce, 70,000, we can't get along without him. This guy is wild.
The people watching for bird flu are not watching for bird flu and the cost of eggs is going up, it's shut down. When the National Cancer Institute...
the fact that they were watching so much for bird flu and then kill all the chickens is why the price of eggs went up. This guy is wild. It is absolutely crazy to listen to this. But do you guys catch? I mean, I want to add. Do you guys think this is hyperbole? What I'm saying, that he is in complete sheer panic. He is like, it's obvious terror for this guy. He knows that. I mean, his dirty dealings with the Chinese spy, all of it. The Russia collusion hoax, everything. I think he is in complete panic. I think he's totally freaking out. Do you guys think the same? I'm curious in the comments. Please answer that. Okay.
Is laying off people who are finding cures? It's shut down. When the FBI is seeing mass layoffs, it's shut down. Our safety is shut down. When the president fires the people who protect our nuclear weapons and our nuclear secrets, the government shut down. Don't accept any frame that the Democrats are shutting down the government. These guys are shutting it down right now. They're shutting it down right now. The position where we need to be in is, if they can't continue to fund their chaos and madness, and they come to us and say, just like we do every single time, we need your votes, and they do this every single time, because every single budget that I've been a part of in 13 years, the Democrats delivered the votes. If they need us to make them well, and by the way, we should not make them well if they're going to continue the madness, but if they need us, we have leverage.
But we don't need you. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that I think freaks them out the most. We don't need them anymore. The Republicans can pass a budget out of the House and get it through the Senate. The biggest challenge right now is Lindsey Graham.
We have leverage. We have an opportunity to protect healthcare, to protect retirement savings, to protect public safety, to protect alliances in the world. We have leverage.
Ukraine.
We also should not trust them for much of any length of time. I don't trust these guys.
Well, we don't trust you.
We are not helpless. You are not helpless. You've been loud. You've been calling us. You've been writing us. You've been texting us. 500 of you in my district showed up to my town hall. That means something. You're in it. Locally, it's not just about Democrats in Congress or Republicans in Congress. You have state assembly members. You have state senators. You have attorneys general in your state. Ask them, what are they doing to protect you? Because you don't feel safe, and I hear you. You don't feel safe. Ask them, what are they doing to protect you?
Wow.
Also, blue state governors, blue state secretaries of state, if you think we are doing the max, through the roof, blowing out the ceiling on voting rights in those states, we're wrong. You're wrong. We have a shot to win the majority in 2026, but we cannot go into a rigged environment because Republicans have taken away all access to the polls. Yes.
Okay, this is crazy. Taking away all access to the polls. Man, I gotta play this other video by Donald Trump, but I want to let you know something else too. Pam Bondi has declared that restrictions shielding administrative law judges from removal are unconstitutional and will no longer defend them in court. The move would then allow President Trump to fire those who have been secretly perverting the Constitution. The Supreme Court last year ruled that the SEC's use of in-house judges to decide enforcement action was unconstitutional. So these people are losing all their legal support, folks. I just want you to know that as well. I should bring in, let me see here. I've got a, speaking of states, I'm going to skip away from Eric a little bit here. I know you guys are probably very disappointed. You want to listen to Eric Swalwell, but let's do this. Watch Trump handle this governor in Maine at the governors.
But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Not here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well,
What happened?
we are the federal law.
Why does that keep doing it?
Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there.
Why? I don't know why I keep stopping, but Trump's just bodying this governor.
Your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports, so you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Wow.
Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation. And we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. But I understand Maine.
Did you hear this pompous governor out of Maine? Did you listen to that? That's nuts. Okay, I got another video from Trump, but we got to go back to Swalwell here for just a little bit.
Georgia is going to Georgia. Other red states are just going to do everything they can to kick black and brown people off the voter rolls and make it harder for them to vote. They're now going to make it harder for women who changed their names when they got married to vote. That's what they do. That's what they do. But to our blue states, we have to insist and ask, what are you doing to maximize access to the polls? Because in California, for example, it's not like you go to the polls and it's a great expeditious experience. There are still long lines, well over 30 minutes, sometimes hours, in blue states, in California, New York.
See, now he's sitting there. He's pulling the old Mark Elias line. So I'm going to bring President Trump back in because something really exciting happened today as well at the governor's meeting. So let us play this for you.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is the Maine here?
No, not this one. We got the wrong one. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Pulled up the wrong one. Professor Clements had shared the video, so I wanted to go back to that. You got a standing ovation. This is Georgia's. I was on. Hold on one second. You got to hear what President Trump had to say here at this. Let's see. I'm on his page. Let's see. Took down the governor of Maine. Here it is. This is the one. I swear I had this one up. Paper ballots and same-day voting, folks. Watch this.
Our nation, you should do it anyway. One other thing, I just before we leave, I think you should do this. For my safety and security and for the good of our nation, you should do it anyway, regardless, even if it costs 10 times more, but it actually costs you just a tiny fraction. If you went to paper ballots and you're voting, and I would hope that every Republican would. So it costs exactly 8% of what the machines cost. These machines,
8%, big savings.
They get business. It's amazing. So paper ballots, and paper is very sophisticated today. It's called watermark. It's impossible to copy, impossible to cheat. It's actually hard to believe that a piece of paper is highly sophisticated, but it's watermark, and it's it's amazing actually when you see it. You can't cheat. But if you went to paper ballots and same day voting, And if you went to voter ID, and also one other thing, you want a proof of citizenship. Those four things: proof of citizenship, voter ID, paper ballots, one-day voting. And if you went to 2-day voting or 3-day voting, but some of these states, you had 64 days. You know, California just finished up just a short while ago.
Now, folks, you can understand as Trump puts this idea forward that this is why Eric Swalwell is freaking out so bad about elections, because he needs Democrats to stay in power. And he realizes that they may not be able to
have a law that says you should not wait in line for longer than 30 minutes. Your pizza should not arrive before you're able to vote if you ordered one. And if you do, the county pays every individual a fine for their time. So let's start getting inventive in our blue states so that we really can inoculate against some of the damage that's going to be done in the red states. We're not helpless, folks. We're not helpless. We can't count on Republicans. They just showed us that in the Senate, but we are not helpless. So I'm fired up. This Kash Patel is going to be at the FBI. And I promise you, a president who would release 1,600 of the most violent people in our country who attack.
Oh, yeah, cancer grandmas, man. Nobody more violent than that. Guy who posed for a picture with a lectern, terribly violent. Had lunch with him when I was out in D.C., Adam Johnson. I mean, wonderful guy with his wife. Had lunch with they're not violent. See, he's got to paint this narrative. I mean, we saw at the beginning of that video, I mean, he is so freaked out, calling on states attorneys generals, anybody to help him, begging for help. And now trying to do these different shenanigans with elections.
Act the Capitol, beat cops. That same president will jail at least 1,600 of his most vocal opponents. And the person who's going to be out there doing that is Kash Patel. That's what the Senate just approved.
See? That's what he's so worried about. See, he's like, oh, jail their opponents. Well, wait, didn't they tell us that you don't have to be worried if there's nothing that you did that was against the law? I mean, did we hear all this kind of platitudes from these people? And now they're saying, oh my gosh, we got to worry about Donald Trump because he'll put us in jail. Why would he put you in jail? Why would he put you in jail?
Today. But we are not helpless. We cannot shrink right now. We cannot shrink right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. Okay, now I just want you to imagine for a second. There's Eric Swalwell talking about, we can't shrink right now. And then think about how Donald Trump was fight, fight, fight. Who do you believe? Swalwell or Trump? And I really mean this. I mean, you look at their faces. Like, do you believe this guy at all? I mean, I'm Trump all the way.
Because they're not shrinking. They're flexing. They're flexing with fake patriotism, a perverted interpretation of what it means to be an American. And they're going after your freedom. They're going after your freedom. So I'm on it. I'm in it. All in it. And you are too. But that's just a little list of some of the things we should be watching, some of the things we should be doing, and the differences we can make in the coming weeks and months. And I just want to tell you, finally, to win the House, we got to warm the waters. Because right now is when people are thinking about whether they're going to run for Congress to flip the hardest seats in America. They're thinking about it right now. And if they don't see a fight in Congress, if they don't see organization and passion in the community, they're going to take a walk. They're going to take a pass. Donald Trump's numbers are coming down. He's in the low 40s today in a Reuters poll. We need to warm the waters with our fight in the Congress and your activism.
All right, there, we'll pull him out. Now, here's the scoop. The Reuters poll, don't believe it. Trump's numbers aren't down. Rasmussen Polling, who called the election. You guys know I've had Mark Mitchell on the show. The numbers haven't changed. The numbers haven't changed. Okay, he does daily tracking of this stuff. The numbers haven't changed. I mean, who cares what Reuters has to say? But the bottom line is it's very encouraging to see just exactly how scared they are. Now, here's where it gets really crazy, folks. Look at this. I'm going to pull in an article from Salon. And the left doesn't get it. They still don't get it. Stay strong, cat ladies. Wait, it's Salon. I'm going to try and go British or some sort of high-minded accent. Stay strong, cat ladies. After Trump's first month back, personal defiance matters more than ever. Mega didn't vote for Doge, but to bring liberals to heel, fight back by not giving them the satisfaction. Now listen to this. These people are so deluded that a month into the second term of the president they view as the second coming. Do any of you honestly believe that Donald Trump is the second coming? I know well that Jesus Christ's second coming is going to be a lot different. He's going to ride in a white horse, stamped right there on his thigh. All this stuff out of Revelation. Come on. But anyways, mega social users coalesced upon a single talking point. No, not of Elon Musk's rampage through the federal government that is destroying scientific research, threatening people's social security checks, and may very well lead to a major economic crash. Nor were they super keen to talk about Donald Trump's baseless claim that Ukraine started it when Russia invaded. Instead of focusing on how congressional Republicans plan to pay for rich people's tax cuts by taking away ordinary people's health care, or how Trump's tariff threats and games will likely lead to more inflation, or the soaring price of eggs and the rising fears of bird flu, Mega marked the 1-month anniversary of Trump's return to office by rehashing a recycled and easily debunked study to dunk on liberal women. New polls show liberal women the most unhappy and lonely. Oh, folks, it's true. Declared triumphant Fox News headline. The story was blasted across the channel, repackaged in multiple formats, and shared throughout right-wing media outlets like the New York Post and the Daily Mail. Mega users on social media went nuts, gloating and congratulating themselves, mostly without bothering to read the article they were so excited about. If they had, they might have noticed the same data that gets resurfaced in both conservative and shamefully mainstream press every few months. They might even see the flaws in this research, which depends on self-reporting and doesn't control for the pressure on conservative women to keep sweet even when they feel miserable. Or that liberal women probably aren't more depressed, just more willing to get treatment for it. The timing of this not new and not reliable information is sure helpful to mega leaders who need to distract Trump voters from the disaster that is Trump's first month in office. How many of you think that there is a disaster so far in the first month in office with Donald Trump? Because I sure don't. And they're saying that's why it's important for liberals to respond with 2 raised middle fingers and an invitation to the culture warriors to kiss our collective rear ends. And they start trashing trad wives and so on. This is the thing. There's no electoral value in acceding to this pressure to get rid of your piercings, pretend that YMCA is not a gay song, and get married to a dull-witted former high school bully who won't let you play Chapel Roan. Who the heck is Chapel Roan? The smarter move is remembering how fun it can be to be the ones who stand up for the God-given right of every American to be as weird as they want to be. So what they do, their answer, folks, their answer, and this is why they're going to lose in perpetuity, is not to acknowledge that woke didn't do them well this election, but to become more woke. That's the point of the article. So they're just not going to do well. But it's great. We like I showed you, we've got Trump calling on the governors for one day. He said he's going to pursue this, and he wants to pursue it through federal law. But same day, paper ballots, voter ID, all of it. Okay, which is huge. Then we have, the liberals. They can't get it right. And Eric Swalwell's in complete meltdown. Everything, folks, everything is as it should be. Anyways, if you find the good fight, go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack. Thanks so much for joining me on another stream. And we'll see you on the next episode. If you didn't see the Kathy Hochul video today, you'll want to because it's really good. All right? Peace out.